The last one was a quicker one against, an established veteran, but I mean, the performance there tonight was pretty thorough. Are you satisfied with the way you fought tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Day and night in comparison to my last fight. Yeah, my last fight was a win for sure, but I mean, let's be real. I'm pretty sure I was losing that fight up until that moment. So I feel like I was a little starstruck with Eddie Wineland. Eddie Wineland, as we all know, pioneer of the sport, veteran, ex-champ, you know what I mean? So it was nice to get somebody in there who's up and coming and basically in their prime.
Nice. Overall, I mean, how did the fight play out versus your expectations? I mean, it looked like it was going to be a good one on paper. It turned out to be that way, but how did it play out versus your expectations?
It was good. I mean, that's kind of what we were game planning for. We were kind of anticipating a very aggressive Miles John. I would have liked to throw a little bit more volume and put my combinations a little bit more together, but, I feel like I was pretty dominant from the second and the third round, and a win's a win at the end of the day, and it grows my stock. So.
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying your most complete performance to date. Would you put it that way as well?
Absolutely. I was telling my coach right before we walked out of the hotel, I'm the best fighter I've ever been today, to this day. Absolutely.
Very nice. You heard him, as you said, once you started to take over, you heard him quite a few times. Were you surprised that you weren't able to put him away with your strikes?
No, I was just, I should have been a little bit more aggressive there, but I knew I could take my time. That second round, I could tell right away he was losing his pep in his step. And I was just getting started. I was telling my coaches that my opponent, he's a very, very strong starter, but not a very strong finisher. And I'm the opposite. I start a little bit more relaxed and chill, and then I finish with a bang. So that's kind of what happened tonight.
Finish it with the grappling game as well. I mean, was there a point where you're like, this dude's just going to take every strike I have, or was it just that you saw the opportunity
Honestly,
there?
It fell. I dropped him, and I fell right into that. And I had an arm triangle choke. You can ask the academy and my coach, Greg Nelson. We've been working on that for years now. So I got a big win over Marcelo Rojo in a different promotion with that same exact choke, and actually put him to sleep as well. So it's definitely one of my favorite moves.
Yeah, incredibly deep division, right? I mean, where do you feel like you stack? Where do you feel like you stand? I mean, do you feel like, hey, people need to be talking to me about rankings and stuff, or is it a long way from there?
No, I'm nowhere near there. I was telling Michael Bisping, my very first fight, I fought Nathaniel Wood, who's always been on the cusp of breaking that top 15. And then I got a veteran of the sport, a pioneer of the sport, in Eddie Wineland. And now I got something else thrown at me. I got a young up-and-comer with nothing but knockout wins in the UFC. So I've seen it all now. I'm excited to see what's next. But no, I'm doing my thing. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep getting wins, and that's all that matters.
Does it feel like home in the octagon now? I mean, it takes a little bit of an adjustment period sometimes.
I'm undefeated in Vegas. Vegas is home. Vegas feels like home. This is home right here.
Very nice. Last thing for me, I mean, like you said, there's so many available matchups and just a deep division. What do you want to do next? I mean, is this something you want to turn around quickly? Are there names that make sense? Do you need a little time off? What's the plan from here?
No time off. I think that, I've had a couple years now where I've had one fight and then I'll take a full year off. That was basically what happened in my last fight. I hadn't fought since February of 2021. I want to be active this year. I want to get in at least another 2 minimum. So if we can hop back in here in the summertime and then one at the end of the year, that's fine with me.
Congrats on the big win. Obviously.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Solid performance, top to bottom. But if you could critique yourself, what's it going to be? Because is that going to be a 10 out of 10, or what could you have done better?
No, absolutely not. I don't think I'll ever have a 10 out of 10 performance. There's always room for improvement. I'm not going to lie, I got stinged with a couple hard shots. So, let's just say we didn't get hit at all and we did all the damage, then maybe it's a 10 out of 10. But that's kind of unrealistic here at the highest level in the UFC. I'm happy with my performance. It's definitely been my best performance to date, but we got a lot of room for improvement, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've been this past year, since I've been laid off since I fought last, we've been doing nothing but work. So that's what I'm going to continue to do, continue to keep getting better in all aspects of my game.
Excellent. And you mentioned earlier you're telling your coach you're the best fighter now. That you elaborate on that. How did you come to that conclusion? What's been the progression, the evolution of?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've had, what is it now, 23 professional fights, and I'm 30 years old. I think that I'm in my prime, so that's definitely part of it. But I've been the most prepared mentally, physically, on all aspects. And it's kind of weird because it's been a really, really tough year for me. MMA isn't really all I do. I work a full-time job. I work 40 to 50 hours a week. I still squeeze in 30 to 40 hours of high-level training at the academy. These last 3 months, I've been dealing with a divorce. Been dealing with injuries, calf injuries, other injuries. There's been a lot on my mind these last 3 months. So it's definitely been, it's cool to kind of battle through adversity and still put on a performance like I did.
Excellent. And just for fun, the walkout song from the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack, why is that? Awesome song, by the way.
Man, thank you. You guys are gonna laugh, but all right. So when I was in high school, I used to fight random people. I had a YouTube channel. It's called the Waconia Fighter. And me and my buddies, they're probably watching this laughing, but on the way to these little street fights, when we'd meet up at baseball fields, football fields, whatever, that's the song we would listen to. We would listen to that exact same song. We'd be bumping in my friend Connor Donahue's Jeep, top down. We'd be riding and listening to that the whole way there. And it honestly, it kind of reminds me of like my roots. Like before I was even interested in fighting full time or anything like that, I was fighting people for fun. I love fighting. This is the funnest job in the world, man. Getting paid, getting couple paychecks to beat people up. Like, come on, how much better can it get?
So you weren't even making money on those fights?
No, this was in high school, man. My mom hated my mom. I was such a punk to my mom. I'm so glad that my mom kind of put me in my place. But when I was young, I was getting in fights left and right, getting suspended and expelled and stuff like that. But hey, it made me who I am today, and it made me a good person at the end of the day. So
that's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
Uriah
for sure,
Faber
brother.
has that Pac song, Frankie Edgar with the Biggies. There you go. That's your walkout.
That's my walkout song from here on out.
All right, man. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, brother.
I just have one question.
Yes, sir.
A lot of fighters are not able to block what happens out of the cage, out of the ring. How were you able to block everything that's going on in your life and still stay focused?
Honestly, that's a really good question. I definitely wasn't able to block it when I was outside of the training room, which is why I think I made it a point to kind of be at the gym as much as I possibly can. The Minnesota Martial Arts Academy in Brooklyn Center under my head coach, Greg Nelson, Nat McIntyre, Andy Grahn. Like right now, I'm pretty sure it's negative 10 degrees in Minnesota, but in the academy, it's always 70 and sunny. So we're rocking and rolling in there. It's when it's negative 10 degrees out, you kind of seek that 70 and sunny. So I'm there as much as I can. Late nights, a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, a lot of sleepless nights, but we pulled it off. Thank you guys, appreciate it.